Hello lovely people, welcome back to another book chat. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about another one of those books that I was sort of told repeatedly that I should read, and being me and being ornery and difficult, I took ages and ages and ages to get around to it. And if you've seen my video for The Invisible Library, you'll know that I was absolutely kicking myself for taking so long about getting around to that one, because that was a fantastic book. I loved The Invisible Library. I can't wait to read the others, except for the fact I weirdly haven't bought any of them. And I'm not quite sure why. At the moment I have the excuse I really want to get them in paperback, which is something I just haven't done yet. But also I think I enjoyed them so much I kind of don't want to read them, because then once I've read them I won't have any more of them to read. That makes sense. Somewhere in my head that makes sense. Anyway, Becky Chambers, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. And I'm sorry I don't have any of these in color anymore. My old Kindle that I used to use to show the colors to show the covers in color has pretty much definitely died now. It's not happy. But now this one isn't happy either. What's it doing? Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, here we go. Right. Okay. So, things I really liked about this book. It was really, really well written. The characters were fantastic. Ages ago, I can't remember if I did a video or a blog post. I think it was a blog post. I'll link to it under here anyway, talking about sci-fi. Because I enjoy sci-fi, but I'm really, really picky about it. I don't like space operas. I don't like things that are more about the sci-fi than they are about the people. I like character-driven sci-fi, which is why I always enjoy a lot of Philip K. Dick. It's why I love books like Flowers for Algernon. They are books about people in a world which are a bit different to ours, but they're still people, and it's their stories more than anything else. So I was told that this was similar, and yeah, the characters are fantastic. Excellent character development, fantastic representations of other alien races as well, and the way that people interact. There's a fantastic planet that the characters end up going to, and it was wonderful. I loved reading about it because everyone, all these different species were all living in relative, maybe not harmony exactly, it wasn't utopia or anything like that, but they'd made their own spaces within this particular planet, and there was this fantastic market scene going on, and I loved that. I thought that was so interesting. So there was a lot to like about this book in that respect, and you definitely engaged with the characters, you definitely cared about the characters, and there were some wonderful sections as well, which I have highlighted a couple of them here. So this is great. So, humans can't handle war. Everything I know about our history shows that it brings out the worst in us. We're just not mature enough for it or something. Once we start, we can't stop. And I've felt that in me, that inclination towards acting out in anger. Nothing like what you've seen. I don't pretend to know what war is like. But humans, we've got something dangerous in us. We almost destroyed ourselves because of it. And so there's some really wonderful, almost philosophical passages in it. And so that I thoroughly enjoyed. Let's see what else I've got here as far as... Yeah, so we are experts of the physical galaxy. We live on terraformed worlds and in massive orbital habitats. We tunnel through the sublayer to hop between stellar systems. We escape planetary gravity with the ease of walking out the front door. But when it comes to evolution, we are hatchlings fumbling with toys. I believe this is why many of my peers still cling to theories of genetic material scattered by asteroids and supernovae. In many ways, the idea of a shared stock of genes drifting through the galaxy is far easier to accept than the daunting notion that none of us may ever have the intellectual capacity to understand how life truly works. So, yeah, some fantastic little sort of almost philosophical moments in it, great character development, really interesting world building, just brilliant world building, to be honest. So all of these things I really enjoyed. But as much as I am definitely about character-driven sci-fi, there also needs to be a story. And I'm really sorry, but for me, it took so long for the story to get going. There was so much world building before it started that if it wasn't so well written, if the actual world building hadn't been so interesting, I'd probably have DNF'd. I probably wouldn't have finished. I pushed through, and it was a push through because I was invested enough in the characters and interested enough in the world to see where it was going. But the truth is, it wasn't enough to get me to pick up the next book in the series. I don't think I'll be bothering. And it's a real shame because there was so much I loved about the story. But the pacing was just a bit too slow for me. There was a couple of sort of exciting incidents, but they were almost, that was all they were. They were incidents. And everything else was about the kind of mainish character that's quite an ensemble cast, adjusting to life aboard the spaceship and meeting actual aliens who she hadn't met before. And so it was very, very cool. It was, but I felt more as if I was watching someone put all the pieces in place for a later story than I was actually reading a story itself. So that was a real shame. So yes, on that one, I would say yes if you enjoy your character-driven sci-fi. Yes, if you're not after a fast-paced story. Like I say, writing good, some interesting little philosophical moments, that sort of thing, but not much pace to it. And even for me, and I'm not after like the most fast-paced stories in the world, it was just too slow. It took too long to get where it was going to. But anyway, also love the title. Title is absolutely fantastic. So let me know. Have you ever read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, or any other of Becky Chambers' books? What did you think? If you do read sci-fi, what are your kind of favourite sci-fi authors and books? What do you look for in sci-fi? And if you haven't read sci-fi, what puts you off about it? And let me know below, and we'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Bye.